here and I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks. And today we are making a Christmas bauble. Now I think this is the easiest bauble ever to make. You don't need stuffing, you don't need an actual bauble to put your crochet work around. All you need is yarn. I'm using a DK thickness and a hook. I'm using the hook that I usually use for DK, so a 3.5, although DK normally you use a 4, but that's for my tension. And that is it. You don't need anything else and you'll be able to make these lovely baubles. Now, I am using Christmas colours here, but of course look at this. I've used the colours of the rainbow, and of course you can do this to your colours for your Christmas decorations. So let's get started. So to get started on your Christmas bauble, you will need to make 6 crocheted circles. So I have 5 here. I'm going to make one with you. So I have my hook and my yarn. We're going to get started by making my slip knot. There we go. Insert your hook and let's do 4 chains. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we go back to that first chain, go into it, and then we do a slip stitch to make a tiny little circle. Into this circle we are now going to be working our first round, but of course we are going to be doing 2 chains first. These 2 chains will act as the last stitch of our round, so we're just going to disregard those for now. And we need 10 V's on the outside of our work, so that means if we do take this one into account, we will have to do 9 double crochets. So yarn over, go into the circle, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and yarn over, pull through 2, and that is my first double crochet. And we do that again until we have done 9 of them, and then the 10th V we will create with a slip stitch. So let me get to that point where I have 9 double crochets. And this is my 9th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then here I'm skipping those 2 chains. So you go under the 9th V. I'm not losing my eye on that. There we go. So that's the 9th V. Pull everything closed and we are going to bring it all in with a slip stitch. This slip stitch has now made a V over those 2 chains, and now I have 10 V's going around the outside of my work. As you might have noticed, I took along my end, so now I can pull that and it's a little bit tighter now. So now for round 2, we are going to chain 2. Once again, this is going to be disregarded. It's going to be the last stitch of our round, so we won't take this into account at the start of our row. And round 2 is always doubling the stitches in every stitch. So in the first stitch, I'm going to be placing 2 double crochets. In the next stitch, I'm going to be placing 2 double crochets, and so on. So from 10 stitches, we will now go to 20. Now you might notice your circle goes a little bit bowl-shaped. Don't worry, that will work itself out. We are working with the least amount of stitches that we can get away with. So that's the reason why this is happening. So now I have this last stitch to deal with as well. I need to put 2 stitches in there, but this chain 2 is going to count as my last stitch of my round. So I just need to add my first stitch of my multiple in there. So this is the first double crochet. This is going to count as my second double crochet. I'm going to skip that under this V into there, and I do a slip stitch to close the round, and that one will also now have given the chain 2 a top, making it into a double crochet. Now for round 3, 1, 2 chains to get started with. We disregard those, we act as if they're not there. Then we look at the next stitches, and round 3 we do a increase ratio of 3. So that means you're going to do 1 in the first stitch and then 2 in the next stitch, and that makes 3 stitches because it's round 3. So we start again, 1 in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch. And this is how you are going to continue. I will see you at the end of the round. I've just made it to the end of the round. I've just done the 1 double crochet. Here in the next stitch I'm going to have to do the 2. Of course my chain 2 is already in there. That's going to count as my second double crochet, so I just need to add the first one. And then I'm going to skip those 2 chains, go under the next V there and do a slip stitch. And this is the circle that we are going to be using for our bauble. So let's cut off the yarn. So to create the bauble you will need 6 discs like this, 6 crocheted circles made up of 10 double crochets, 20 double crochets, and on your last round you should have 30 double crochets. So taking 2 discs like this, you're going to place them together with the bad sides facing each other. You're going to then take your contrasting yarn, or even the same yarn if that's what you want to use. Okay, make your slip knot and insert your hook. Then you're going to be going into the back loop of one of the stitches, bring up a loop, then you go over to the other circle and you also pick up the back loop, so that's the loop closest to you, but looking at it from the front here, that is the back loop. You then also pull up a loop, and this is the loop that you're going to pull through these 2 loops on your hook. So you pull these through onto your hook, there we go. Then you go to the next stitch and you do the same thing, and you find the next stitch there and you do the same thing. Pull up and then you pull through. So this is a really nice join, which looks the same from both sides. I have tried to use single crochets, but that didn't sort of look so nice. As you can see, there's 2 different sides on there. If you want to, of course you can use that, but I'm going to be using these here. Now this join, you're going to do that for 15 stitches, so count your stitches and work 15 of them so that you have gone halfway around the circle. And this is what it looks like. So here I have now done 15 of those inner loop slip stitches, and I have gone halfway round my circle. So now I'm going to take this circle here, leave this one behind, bring in a third one, and I am going to keep my yarn down like this. I'm going to keep going on this circle, so pick up the back loop, bring up the loop, and then you take your third circle and you start using stitches on there. So back loop of one of the stitches, wrap the yarn around the hook and bring it up, doing your slip stitch. So next stitch on your second circle here, then go over to the third circle and you bring up a loop and do your slip stitch. So now you are attaching the third circle with 15 stitches onto that second circle, and by the time you've finished you should be here. Okay, so let me continue. So keep your yarn low so you can wrap it round your hook and bring it up to do your stitch. And this is like I said, this is quite a nice join. It's reasonably flat as well. Of course, by the time you've made it all around that second circle, you've done another 15 stitches. You've done 30 stitches on this circle, but only 15 on the next one. And then when you've done that, you will take your fourth circle and you will do exactly the same thing. So I have now done my 15 stitches here. I've gone all the way around on this second one, and of course the first one is only attached half as well. So now here we're going to continue and we're going to bring in the next circle. So you're going to go in, bring up the loop, go to the next stitch, bring up the loop and do your slip stitch. There we go. And now we are connecting our fourth circle to our construction for another 15 stitches. So if you look at it like this, you've got your circles folded in half, and each time you're adding the next circle to it. So I will see you in 15 stitches. So I have done my 15 slip stitches there. Now I'm going to fold this over, bring in my next one and keep going over there. So I keep going on my current circle like so, then I go over to the new circle, to just go in anywhere, bring up the yarn and do the slip stitch, and off we go again, doing another 15 inner loop slip stitches. So once again I have finished doing another 15. This means I have now gone round the whole circle with 30. This sort of spreads out a little bit, don't worry about that, we will close that up later on. So take up your next one and getting started anywhere with pulling up your loop, then going back to the previous circle into the next stitch to pull up the loop and to do your slip stitch. There we go, and we have started doing our next 15 stitches again. So I've done my join here with the 15 stitches. I now have all my circles connected, but of course we have to close up our bauble. So I'm now going to get started by picking up the inner loop of my current circle and then going over to the first circle and picking up the inner loop of the next stitch there. So continue as you have been used to, but of course now we are closing our bauble up by connecting the first and the last circle. So I will see you when I have finished my 15 stitches. So I have just finished my last join here with 15 stitches. Now we are going to close up the top here. So we have the end here, which I'm just going to pop into the bauble. Then I'm going to look at the slip stitches here, and I'm just going to find a V to go under and close this up. Then I'm going to go to this one here, go under this V and do a slip stitch, just to bring all those tops of the stitches together there. There we go. Yeah, you can use this one, doesn't really matter, just as long as you use one that's near enough to the top. This is where we started, so I'm going to try and get into this one, of course. There we go. Next one. Yeah, maybe this one or this one, doesn't really matter. There we go. Okay, and this has now made the top look of our bauble look quite nice. Now we're going to chain 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 29 and 30. So you've got your chain starting on this side of the little circle here. So I'm going to try and pick up some strands. Yeah, maybe there, that's fine. Pull them through and do a slip stitch. Okay, then you're now going to cut off your yarn, but you're going to leave quite an end. So cut it off and pull through the loop with your long end, of course. There we go. Then you're going to put this end on your darning needle. There we go, into the hole. Make sure you don't touch anything and come out the other end. Okay. Then take off your needle. Put your hook under a V near the edge there and just loop your yarn around. This is now your loop, and you're now going to do slip stitches to close up the base of your bauble. That way you also have a nice little ring on the bottom of your bauble. Is that both the loops? No. So go under the V nicely. And you'll be doing about 6 V's, 6 stitches. So here, this is where we started, so I'm going to go and do another one there. Pull up the loop. See, there we go. So we've got a nice base there as well. And then back with your needle into there, put it into the bauble. Again, try and make sure you don't touch anything, don't snag it on anything, and just pull in the end like so. Voila. And I just cut it off there, and I know that my end is inside. And now all you need to do is shape your bauble nicely. So basically we have folded circles laying over one another. There we go. And there's sort of, this part is larger than this part, so this is how it works. And then just press it down a little bit. There we go. Look at that. We have a lovely bauble. So you can shape them a little bit more depending on your preference, but this is how to make the bauble using 6 circles and just yarn, no stuffing, no bauble itself, and no hanger, because we have incorporated the hanger into our design. So I hope you will enjoy making these Christmas ornaments. Thank you very much for watching. Do like and share the video if you like this design and you want to share it with your friends as well. Thank you very much for watching and for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!